Good morning, students. Today I am putting in lectures for trends in atomic size, ionization potential, as well as electron affinity. Now, this part of the chapter has been completed in the previous lectures, but there is still some iota of doubts with certain students. So I am resending the videos so that you can go ahead, see them, understand, and still if you have any doubt on them, please go ahead and ask. But this chapter in terms of inorganic chemistry is extremely important, so you should know what are the concepts which underlie this chapter. Okay? Now the first thing which we will understand is the atomic size. Okay? Now in atomic size, the general trend for this atomic size is that once we are moving from left to right, the atomic size decreases. While if we are moving from top to bottom, the atomic size increases. Now, what is the reason for this? The reason for the decrease in atomic size is that number of shells remain the same, but number of protons and electrons increase, leading to enhanced Coulombic forces of attraction. Okay, so we find an atomic size decrease because the number of shells remain the same, and left to right the period remains the same. Okay, but number of protons and electrons increase. So the number of protons and electrons increase, leading to an increased Coulombic force of attraction. Now Coulombic forces of attraction is between the positively charged nucleus and the negatively charged electron. Okay, so because of this, something like this is happening. Now, atomic size increases while we move from top to bottom. Now, see what all factors are there. First, here is number of shells are increasing. Okay, so number of shells are increasing. So obviously, I mean, if the number of roads across the nucleus are increasing, so those many pathways will be increased, and because of that, the size of the atom will also increase. So initially, number of shells are increasing. Secondly, the atomic number is also increasing, which means the number of protons and electrons is also increasing. So because of that, there may be certain impact. The third point is that screening or shielding is also increasing. Okay, now see, this will lead to atomic size increase, this will lead to atomic size increase, but if the atomic number is increasing, then obviously the size will decrease. Why? Because again the Coulombic forces of attraction will increase. So what is actually happening? Cumulatively, this and this is having a dominating effect. Okay, so this is having a dominating effect, because of which the net change in the entire process, the atomic size increases. Okay, so shells are increasing, atomic size will increase, screening will increase, atomic size will increase, but if the atomic number is increasing, the atomic size will decrease. The net effect is the dominating effect of 0.1 and 0.3, because of which the atomic size increases. Now, on what all factors this atomic size depends on? So the first thing is, in terms of factors, first thing is effective nuclear charge. Okay, so effective nuclear charge, if it increases, then the atomic size will decrease. So it is an inverse relation. So effective nuclear charge decreases, atomic size increases. Okay. Second, number of shells. In terms of number of shells, as the number of shells increases, the atomic size will increase. So that means it is directly proportional. In terms of third point, when we are talking about screening, so in terms of screening, if the screening increases, then the atomic size also increases. Okay, so it is directly proportional to the screening or shielding. Okay, so just have a look and understand those points. Now let's understand the trend for the second property of periodic table, that is ionization potential or energy or enthalpy. Okay, now as far as a layman understanding is concerned, we actually don't differentiate between these terminologies. Okay, so as a student of class 11, you actually don't need to differentiate much or dwell much into the depth of what is the difference here. Prima facie, what you need to understand is the concept. Now, what happens is, this is the nucleus and these are the shells. Okay, the last shell has certain amount of electrons. Okay, so we are not getting into how many electrons, but just to understand, so these electrons are bound by certain Coulombic forces with the nucleus. Okay, so that's why they are not in a free mode where they can be removed. But as the distance from the nucleus increases, thereafter the effect of the nucleus on the valence electron also starts decreasing, because of which the valence electron somehow becomes loosely held as far as the nucleus is concerned. Now, the atom will survive, that is okay, but to gain more stability, to attain more stability, it also needs to form a bond. And if it needs to form a bond, then there has to be some movement of the electron from the periphery of that individual atom, which means that to form a specific type of a bond, these electrons should be removed. Okay, now since these electrons are under the influence of the nucleus, therefore they cannot be removed directly. So what needs to be done is that there is an extra amount of energy which is applied on this electron and which is known as ionization energy. So prima facie, you need to understand that we are talking about an energy which is being utilized, which is being consumed. So that energy is known as ionization energy. Okay, so it is something like that, that suppose this is a toy. Now this toy is already with one child. Okay, and now you need to remove that toy and give it to others. So what should happen? This energy should be more than this energy which the nucleus is applying to hold back the electron. Okay, so ionization energy is that energy which is consumed for a neutral isolated gaseous atom where a loosely bound electron is removed from its valence shell to form a cation. And why are we specifying that it is forming a cation? Because on loss of electron we will get a positively charged species. Okay, so this is ionization energy. Now, on moving from left to right, the ionization energy increases. Okay, now why does it increase? Obviously because the atomic size decreases on moving from left to right. So if the size is shrinking here, that means the valence electron will be more under the influence of the nucleus, and because of that it will require much more energy than normal to remove the electron, and so that is why the ionization energy increases. If we are moving from top to bottom, here the ionization energy decreases. Now why does it decrease? The reason it decreases is because on moving from top to bottom, the metallic character, that is the tendency to donate electrons, that increases. So because of that, what happens is that since the atom is itself wanting to lose an electron, therefore a lesser amount of energy is required to do that, and that is why the ionization energy decreases. Now, understanding the factors on how to relate this ionization energy factors, the first factor is atomic size. So if the atomic size is small, the IP is large, which means that it is inversely proportional to atomic size. Atomic size small, ionization energy large. Atomic size large, ionization energy small. Okay. The second thing is effective nuclear charge. Okay. Now, effective nuclear charge again is related to atomic size, which means the potential of the electron to hold that valence electron is much higher if the effective nuclear charge is high, which again means it is directly proportional to the ionization energy, which means greater the pull of the nucleus, greater will be the ionization energy. Okay. The third part here is the need, or rather the metallic character if we are talking about. So if the metallic character is high, okay, if the metallic character is high, then obviously the ionization energy will be low. Okay, so if the metallic character is high, the ionization energy is low. Why? Because the metal has a tendency to donate electrons. So obviously the energy required will be less. Now moving on to certain other factors, let's come to the next factor, which is shielding effect. Okay. So apart from these three, we have more of three. The next one is the shielding effect. Now, greater the screening, lesser will be the effective nuclear charge, so lesser will be the ionization energy. So, greater the shielding, lesser the ionization energy. Why? Because shielding will lower the effective nuclear charge. If it lowers the effective nuclear charge, the valence electrons will loosen out. If it loosens out, then of course the energy required to pull will be comparatively lesser. The fifth point is extra stability due to exactly half-filled and full-filled orbitals. Extra stability of exactly half-filled and full-filled orbitals. Now what does this mean? Suppose nitrogen under its normal condition is having the configuration of 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Oxygen will have 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Now in terms of p orbital, it is exactly half filled because maximum we can have 6 electrons. Here we have 3. Now if the atom is already stable, why would it go ahead and do something with its electrons when it is already stable, much more stable because of its extra stability? So why will it go ahead and share an electron? Now the problem is that of course nitrogen forms bonds. So that means it will go ahead and share electrons, but that sharing can only be done if extra amount of energy than normal is applied. And that is the reason the IE, that is the ionization energy, is much more. So if there is extra stability due to exactly half-filled or full-filled orbitals, that is directly proportional to ionization energy. So greater the stability, greater is the energy required for pulling out that electron. And last but not the least is the penetration power. Okay? Now penetration power basically means how far within the atom you can go ahead and pull the electron. From the nucleus, the order of the orbital is always s, p, d and f. Okay, so we have an s, we have a p, we have a d and we have a f for every shell. So obviously the s orbital is always towards the nucleus, while the f orbital is always far from the nucleus. So because of that, it is easier to remove an electron from the f orbital as compared to the s orbital. So that is why the IE order is this, which means it is difficult to remove an electron from the s orbital and easier to remove it from the f orbital. So this is the order for ionization energy. Now let's come to the third trend, and that third trend is known as electron affinity. Okay, alternatively it is also known as electron gain enthalpy. So wherever the word enthalpy is coming, it means that we are talking about a specific amount of energy. Now see, first of all, you need to understand that this concept is for non-metals. Why for non-metals? Because they have a tendency to accept electrons. Okay, so they have a tendency to accept electrons. So that is why it is very familiar with non-metals. Unlike ionization energy, which is the energy required, the electron gain enthalpy or electron affinity is the energy released. Okay, so it is the energy which is released when electron is added. So this is the difference. Okay, so IP is consumed. Electron affinity is the energy released when an electron is added to an isolated neutral gaseous atom to give you an anion. Okay, so it is the energy released. Now, if we are talking about the trends for electron affinity, while we move from left to right, all of us know that from moving from left to right, the metallic character decreases and the non-metallic character increases. So obviously a lesser amount of effort is required to actually add an electron to the atom. So because of that, since less effort is required, therefore energy consumed will be less. Therefore energy released will be more. So on moving from left to right, the electron affinity increases as non-metallic character increases. As non-metallic character increases. On moving from top to bottom, we just discussed that the metallic character increases. So if the metallic character is increasing, then obviously from top to bottom, the value of electron affinity will decrease. So electron affinity decreases as metallic character increases down the group. Okay, so metallic character is increasing down the group. So because of that, the value of electron affinity decreases. Now let's understand the factors which actually go ahead again and impact the electron affinity. Now here the first factor again we can talk about is atomic size. Okay, so see, again if I am talking about the factors, the first factor is EA and atomic size. Now understand, if the atomic size is small, that means nucleus is pulling the valence electron to a greater extent. So if it is already pulling to a greater extent, that means less amount of effort will be required to add that electron, which means more energy will be released. Okay, so if the atomic size is small, the value of EA will be large, so it is inversely proportional. Second, if I am talking about effective nuclear charge, then again effective nuclear charge is more, So EA, that is electron affinity energy released, will be more. So obviously it is directly proportional. Okay, so EA is directly proportional to the effective nuclear charge. Greater the nuclear charge, greater will be the value of EA. Let's come to the third point, shielding. Now, of course, if there is a lot of shielding happening, the valence electron is already not under the influence of the nucleus. So adding one more electron will actually not help much, because the net Z effective of the nucleus will further shrink, because of which I will require more energy to add that electron. So if shielding is more, then value of EA will be less. Okay, so if shielding is more, value of EA will be less. Then we come to the extra stability again. So extra stability of any of the atoms. Okay, extra stability of any of the atoms. So the same case is with IP, the same case is with EA. So if the atom is extra stable, it will require more energy to actually add an electron. So extra stability of atoms is inversely proportional to EA, which means if it's extra stable, more energy is required, so less energy is released, because of which the electron affinity values are less. Okay, so I hope that you are clear with this. And of course, the last part here is the non-metallic character. Since in IP we were talking about metallic character, the non-metallic character is directly proportional to EA, because a non-metal will have the tendency to accept an electron, so lesser effort, more the energy released, and that is why the value of EA is more. Okay.